65 horsepower trap. That might pop wide open, Rats.
So your Kansas City Chiefs get it done versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence, a lot to talk about in that game to get started. First thing I want to talk about, of course, is Patrick Mahomes' ankle. Patrick Mahomes' ankle went down with an ankle injury. We all sat there praying that he would be okay. Looked like he was eventually able to come back in the game versus the Jaguars, limping, hopping around, throwing Tebow-like passes over to MVS. Shout out Chad Henne, though. Shout out Chad Henne. I was going to wear my Chad Henne Miami Dolphins jersey on the podcast. I should have. I didn't. But we got the merch on instead. But shout out Chad Henne, a guy who's been in the league a long time. Hasn't been the best starting quarterback in the league with teams like Jacksonville or Miami, but a great veteran backup. Was great when needed to be in this game. Patrick Mahomes went out. They punted the ball on the 2-yard line, and I sat there and I said to my dad, I was like, this is very, very bad. Very, very bad for the Chiefs because, of course, out of all the drives, they're going to punt it super deep to the Chiefs. It has to be on the 2-yard line and not going to give a great chance to a guy like Chad Henne. But Chad Henne, no bad snaps, no false starts. No, oh my God, he almost intercepted that. Went in there, slung it around, and then Pacheco on that run. Isaiah Pacheco, the way he hit that hole and then bounced around. I swear I saw a flash of either Kareem Hunt or Jamal Charles on that play. That was such a key drive in that game, that 98-yard drive. A team where we saw how they were versus the Chargers, how they came back when they were able to keep fighting and win. So shout out Chad Henne. That's the first thing I really wanted to get on this podcast and say is kudos to a backup guy like that coming in, getting the job done versus Trevor Lawrence and the Jags, who shout out to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I live in Florida. I still will cheer on the Florida teams every now and then. But I like the makeup of this Jags team. Obviously, I like Doug Peterson. I like Doug Peterson. Like Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. So this is a good Jacksonville Jaguars team that definitely has a future in this league and has potential to be a good team up there with the AFC, with the other powerhouses in the AFC. Some things that were concerns about the Chiefs in this game. Special teams, kicker and punter, great. Butker looked like he was back. And Tommy Townsend, one of the best punters in the league. Coverage team, not great. Butker had to stop a kick return. Return team, again, not great. There's even times where Butker didn't put it in the end zone. I don't know why they're telling him to not put it in the end zone. But there's certain things on the special teams this year that has just not looked well. I thought those were some of the things. I thought the running backs came to play. Jerick McKinnon with a monstrous block. And then you had Pacheco, who is just the missing link to this offense. Great running back. That man is getting smashed and still finds a way to bounce off hits. He doesn't look like a typical big bruiser running back, but I call him the dog. I call him IP, but I also call him the dog. That man is a bulldog. He knows how to take contact and hits and bounce right off those hits. We saw that run when Mahomes was out and they really needed a guy like Pacheco to play well. Defense, I thought, was up and down at times. Chris Jones needs to get going to playoffs. Shout out Frank Clark. Playing well in the playoffs, consistently always playing well in the playoffs. Can't really get in the regular season, but my God, that man plays well in the postseason. speaking of the defense, we're going to go into this Bengals game. And yes, I know, Chiefs Kingdom. They beat us 3 times, Jayden. I can hear everyone on my TikTok lives. You don't know anything about football. The Bengals have beat them 3 times. Guys, do you know how many times Tom Brady's team beat the Colts before the Colts just all of a sudden, boom, started to beat them in the playoffs? So, the last time's the last time. That's what I keep having to tell these negative Chiefs fans. The last time was the last time for the Bengals. The last time they played doesn't matter. That's out through the door. So if they got to win then, that's great. It's on to the next time you play them. Things you got to adjust. You can't turn the ball over. And defense has to be fundamentally sound in the secondary. Their offensive line is beat to hell right now. If the defensive backs can hold up that D-line of the Chiefs, which right now is much better than the Bills. Don't think that they're going to just bump and pound and grind like they did with the Bills, like the Bengals did with the Bills. Because they won in the trenches. It's going to be like World War I out there on Sunday. Whoever wins in the trenches wins the war, wins the game. I'll say it right now. On both sides of the ball, defensive line wins the trenches, you'll win the game. And I know you may be saying, well, duh, most of the time. No, because there's times where we don't necessarily win in the trenches and we win the game. We win through the air. So if we can win through the trenches this upcoming week versus the Bengals, that is the key to success. Win in the trenches and play well in secondary. Playing well in the secondary. It's still going to be a tough game. I thought, right now there was even betting sites that had the Chiefs losing by 1. Now I think they have them -1. But again, the Chiefs cannot come out there and turn the ball over and give an extra possession to the Bengals. If they can go out there and get the first 2 to 3 drives, a punt for the Bengals, and the Chiefs get the ball, you have to capitalize them. Almost every single drive, you got to be getting 3, and if not, you got to pin them deep. Pin them deep. You got to pin them deep. You got to be getting yardage. You can't get the ball at the 20, 25-yard line and then just go 3 and out. And then punt the ball, and they're getting the ball around the 45-yard line, 35-yard line. That's also where our special teams has got to come in and return the ball. They have to either, and if it's going over your head, let it go over your head. Do not return it. Give Patrick Mahomes the ball and let him work. That's another thing I want to bring up about Patrick Mahomes real quick as we grind through these. Patrick Mahomes has got to be Brady-esque. We may have to bring out the Alex Smith playbook for this game. I don't know how healthy he's going to be with this whole ankle thing. He'll play. You'd have to basically wheel that man out with security to make that man not play. He will play. But you may have to have these underneath routes, this just quick offense, quick passes with Mahomes, running the ball, screen passes, because we don't know if he's going to be able to make these crazy plays. I don't know if he will be. So you got to be able to get the ball out of his hands quickly, fast, just like we did in the Patrick Mahomes era. In the Alex Smith era. So we'll see how much his mobility we have factoring in. Other Bengals, they play a great D. That's when Pacheco has got to have a good game this week. This has got to be a Pacheco week. This has got to be the game where Pacheco says, I got to lift Mahomes. Juju's got to have a big game. Juju's been quiet. I have his weeks where he blows up. Juju's got to have a big game. MVS, everyone's got to have a good game, but you got to rely on the little guys here. This is where the little guys got to come in. Kadarius Toney, I'd love to see Hardman back out there. Fordson was activated off of injured reserve. So was Clyde Edwards. We'll see if those guys get in the game. They're trying to use all their eggs in the egg basket this week. Because I'm going to say this, guys, before we wrap things up on this Monday edition of the TPT podcast. If the Bengals win this game, guys, which I'll be shocked if they can go in there. I won't be shocked. I will be shocked, but I won't be surprised if you guys catch what I'm saying. If they can go in there and beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead twice. They beat them twice in Cincy. Beat them twice in the AFC Championship game. Twice in 2 years. They're the new top dog in the AFC. I hate to say it, but they are the new top dog in the AFC. So hopefully the Kansas City Chiefs can go out there and prove to everyone in the world they're still them boys and finally get the monkey off their back. Next, we're going to be talking about the keys of this game, some of the players to watch out for. We are going to have a Friday video. Guys, we also got some guest stars coming up, some more people coming up with the TPT podcast. You're going to see some former Kansas City Chiefs quarterbacks. I'm not going to reveal who it is just yet, but a former Kansas City Chiefs quarterback is going to potentially join the show here very, very soon. So look out for that. And some other professional athletes in the game of football and around the sports world that know the game of football and are going to come talk on here. We're going to have some of our returning guests as well. So make sure you guys go check out Jayden's jerseys. If you guys want awesome merch, just all you got to do is DM me and ask for some TPT merch. Also, we also got jerseys, hats, and so much sports apparel over at Jayden's jerseys. Follow me on Twitter. I post the latest news on Chief stuff and of the world and of the world of sports. So make sure you guys go check me out on there. Instagram is where we find the latest videos on the TPT podcast, Instagram Reels, and of course on TikTok every day on TikTok Live, talking about the NFL and the world of sports. I will see you guys all week long as we get ready for the AFC Championship.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you guys hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media, and check out our videos each week.